The next thing I have on my list to do are functions and return values. I'm going to do these two separate. I'm going to do functions first, then I'm going to show you how to do return values. So a function allows us to make the code look pretty, be more portable, and have less garbage. So let me show you or explain to you what that might look like. Control new, Control N to create a new file. Imagine I need to print 10 different things every single time my program starts. So I need to print, hello, welcome to Ron's Tech Hub. Hello, welcome to Ron's, don't watch my spelling please, Ron's Tech Hub. And I might need to, I don't know, print Ron is amazing with loads of G's. Then I might need to print the UK is very cold. Then I might need to print Jamaica is very warm, right? Whatever it is that you want to do. Imagine every single time someone comes into the, I don't know, my Ron's Tech Hub office, I need to say this to them. So I need to print this a million times. I need to do this essentially. Or even better yet, hopefully you guys remember that sleep time thing I showed you in one of the previous videos. So let me import sleep. So I say from time import sleep. Again, I might go over some functions, some import stuff. So I'm going to say sleep. I'm going to put 1 second, and I want this same program to run every single time. So let me copy this. This is going to get very messy. This is very not neat. Let me run this and see what happens. Press F5. Yep, it's actually working the way it should, but there's a much better way to do this. Now, this function I'm going to show you how to create is a very, very simply stupid function, but it works nonetheless. Let me delete all of this, maybe leave that first one there. What I'm going to do, I'm going to create a function, put all of this stuff inside the function. So just like a variable, every time I want to use something, I don't want to type and copy all of this 1,000,001 times and sleep on 1,000,001 times. What I want to do, I want to say define, so def, so let me put a comment here, create function, and down here, I'm going to put that call or use the function. So calling or using a function means exactly the same thing. Let me put some more space, define, messages, I'm going to call this function. Oh God, I can't spell, sorry. SSAGES, messages. After I have that, I'm going to put open and close. I'm going to put my colon again, and then everything that comes under define message is going to be inside my function. So I'm going to actually move that from here, completely move it from there. Might as well get rid of this for now as well. Put that inside my function. Let me make sure the indentation is perfect. So let me show this as well actually. Since that one is indented and the others aren't, a good way to do this quickly, highlight the ones you want to indent, press tab on your keyboard, and it will indent it as many times as you want. Now, if you want to move it back, because sometimes you might copy and paste something and it just shifts it all over the place, in Thonny or in most IDEs for Python, I've realized as well, you press shift on the keyboard, you hold it down, and you press tab. You just keep tapping tab. So that's me pressing once. I've let go, pressing one more time. You keep your hand on the shift, but you keep pressing tab to move it back, and it will move it all the way back there. But I want all of this indented, so I'm going to highlight all of it and press tab on my keyboard once, and that's my function created. Now, when I run this program, what do you think will happen? Let me pause the video here for just a second. Think about what you think would happen. Okay, right, so I'm going to run the program now. Oh, nothing happened. What? I made a mistake? No, I didn't. The thing is, I've created my function here. I've defined it. I've given it a name. I've given it stuff that it should be doing. What I've not done, I haven't told my program, oh, actually, go use that function I created earlier. You have to tell it or call the function or use the function. So to use the function or call it, you simply type the name of the function, messages, messages, open, close, and that's it. That's how you tell it to use the function. So now, when I want to print all of this, let me just run this once. It runs my function here. But to keep doing that is going to be long. So what I could do is I could do sleep, one second. I could do sleep, and I could do one here. and I could put this message under here. So I could just keep copying this. Now, look how much nicer this is compared to what I had before. And this does exactly the same thing. So when I press F5 on my keyboard now, it's going to print that, wait a second, print another one, print another one, print another one, print another one. Now, from the video that we did previously, we can actually incorporate the while loop here. This would be a perfect use case for a while loop. You wanted an annoying message to show up on your mom's computer or your dad's computer. What you could do while one, or you could do while true. They do exactly the same thing. I could do messages, and I could do maybe sleep. I think 0.5 should work here. Let's see, 0.5 seconds. Press F5 on my keyboard. Oh, look at that. It's going to keep running forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. And it's going to take a break every half a second and print the new one. So this is how you make use of a function. If you have something that you're going to be repeating again and again and again, or if you have a complex thing which you don't want to keep changing and adding values to and changing, you just put it inside of a function and call that function when you're ready to use it. So I'm going to remove the while loop just so I can call the function once. Messages, call it once, and that's it. Done. Now, some people do this thing where they do print, and they do the name of the function and then they close it. That works as well, but I don't really like that method personally. I prefer the other one. Now, there is a use case for that, but I don't actually remember what it is right now. I'm going to go away, do some research, come back and actually tell what it is. But I prefer to just say messages, open bracket, close bracket. So for people doing, let's say, Unit 4 BTech Level 3 IT, when you have to, I don't know, ask people for their names, because I think you have to create a program that asks the team for their names and asks the users for their names, and you have to put those names into a list, and you could use this method. For people on the BTech Level 3 Engineering Unit 6 course, where you may be taking sensor readings from something and you might want to store those values, you could use a function. You could keep getting the sensor reading in one function and storing it in a variable or printing it to a text file, whatever it is you want to do. So the whole point of a function, again, this is a super simple Python tutorial. The whole point of a function, all of this, I don't need to keep copying and pasting again and again and again. I simply say messages, and it just does everything that's in here. So imagine I needed this to, I don't know, print this plus whatever number that is, and I needed it to print, oh, sorry, one sec, print hello, like just do some random stuff. Every time I needed to do this, I don't want to copy and paste this. I could just put it all inside of a single function at the top and press F5 and it will just work. One thing you do have to pay attention to though is that you must create the function before you use it. That sounds weird, I know, because this should be a common thing that people know. You have to create something before you can then use it. But let's just show you what it looks like. So I'm going to move this. I'm going to cut this from there. Control X to cut, by the way. So highlight something, highlight everything here, and I could copy it, which is Control C. But because I want to move it completely, I'm going to do Control X to cut. Put some space at the top here. Control V to paste. A V for Victor, that is. I'm going to press F5 on my keyboard. Oh, I get an error. It's not defined, but we created our function down here. But that's the problem. We created it after we're trying to use it. So what we have to do is we have to create it first. And it's after it's been created, that's when we use it. So hopefully that made sense. That's how we do a function. That's how we create a function. Now, this is a very stupid, simple function. When I start doing more stuff in Python with like Unit 6, BTech Level 3 Engineering, I'm going to show you guys maybe some more things on how to use functions. This is stupid simple, but this is how it works. Just before I finish the video, imagine BTech Level 3 Engineering Unit 6 people. I think in one of my videos, I started doing pseudocode on flowchart and I said maybe flash a green LED or flash a red LED. This would be a perfect use case again for a function. So let me create another function here and let me call it define flash green LED as a basic one, right? Then I'm also going to do define another function. Let me just copy this and be lazy. And I'm going to call that one flash green. Let's call this one flash red LED. Now, all I have to do is maybe put in here, I don't have an LED linked to my PC now or the Raspberry Pi, so I'm just going to say flash, what's this again, green LED. And down here, I'm going to say print flash red LED, and that's it. So if you wanted to flash your LED if something happened, so you're doing if statements and you're checking for something, rather than typing out the whole thing to make an LED flash, which is to like set this pin to be an output and make sure it's set to low first, you could do all of that in here. You set the pin to low first in here, you turn the pin on, you sleep for 1 second, you turn the pin back off or on again, and that's your LED flashing. So every time you wanted to flash your LED, rather than writing out the entire thing, you could just call a function that's called flash green LED or flash red LED, and that's it. So I'm actually going to call both these functions down here, and because I'm lazy, I'm going to copy this, paste it there, and I'm going to copy this and paste it there. I'm going to press save on my keyboard. Oh, I haven't saved it yet. I'm going to press F5 on my keyboard, and there we go. Everything runs as it's supposed to. Now this, we can have this all the way at the top of our code, and we can have our normal stuff down here. So it looks very neat. Nobody should be able to see this. And there is even another thing that we can do. We can write all of these functions in a completely different Python file, and then we can just use them in a different one. So let's just say, for argument's sake, I had a Python file called functions. To import all of those functions, all I would have to do is import function.py, for example, and it would take everything from there. So when I call the functions down here, it would just work as normal. I'm going to show that as well. So thanks for watching this one, and stay tuned.